This is certainly not a classic Cajun dish. In fact, cauliflower isn't even a traditional Cajun vegetable. However, the flavor is strongly reminiscent of that cuisine, and you can take it even further in that direction by using Tabasco sauce as a condiment when serving it if you like spicy food, or you can keep it tame and still enjoy the unique flavor that's developed because of the way that the cauliflower is used as a coating on the meat.
I'm not going to waste your time showing you the entire roux formation here. There's another whole video I've made on that, but you can see the color that it's gotten to. You can compare it on the chart. Now I'm going to add the milk to this. Just get together. After it's thickened up some here, it only takes a couple of minutes. We're going to add Beaumont, the Beautiful World seasoning, and a few dashes of Tabasco. Stir this, set it off to the side. We'll be using this in just a few minutes. And here we have the principal ingredients, a little bit out of sequence this time. Here's the bechamel that was already cooked with the Beaumont seasoning and the Tabasco. We have cauliflower, about 120 grams of cauliflower. You can use scraps, and about 40 grams of shallots. These are going to get chopped together in a food processor in just a minute. The Louisiana crumble, once again, you can use just plain breadcrumbs if you want. Obviously this is going to bring a lot more flavor, and this is really good in this dish. So I've loaded the cauliflower and the shallots into the food processor. I'm going to add that 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and grind it. And this is what you want to end up with, this kind of fine meal of shallot and cauliflower that's quite moist. We have the center cut pork chops here. Put the cling film on both sides here and gently pound them a little thicker. This will break down some of the connective tissue, make them more tender, and also give us more surface area for the spice mixture to stick to. Then after they're pounded, we're going to sprinkle flour on them fairly liberally. Now I've got the cauliflower and shallot mixture. I'm going to press into each one of them here. And let it sit like this for a few minutes before you begin cooking them. And this will give a chance for the mixture, the wetness of the cauliflower will mix with the flour, and it'll stick well. If you fry it right away, it'll tend to peel off. If you give it a few minutes for this to really adhere, then it won't flake off. Yeah, the other thing to do here after it's sat for a couple of minutes is take a paper towel and press down on it a little bit, sop up any extra water, moisture that's coming out of there. This will also help the coating stick. Okay, that's fine. Get the non-stick pan hot on a medium heat, not too hot. And when you put water in the pan, it should bubble up. This isn't quite hot enough yet, so we're going to give it another couple minutes. And if you have an infrared thermometer, the temperature you're looking for is about 140 degrees Celsius. It's about 135. I'll show you what it looks like with just water in the pan. The water sizzles like this. It should be about right. It's not dancing around because then it's too hot. And remember, the heat on the pan should be about halfway, about 5 out of 1 to 10. Now I'm going to add enough oil here that it covers the bottom of the pan. I don't want a ton. I don't want to deep fry this, but I want enough that it covers the entire bottom surface of the pan. And we'll wait 1 more minute for the oil to come up to the temperature of the pan. Okay, and it's just 139, 140. It's right on there now. You don't have to be this exact. Other one. And we'll begin counting the time. Now it's been 6 minutes. Do not use a spatula to flip these or you'll destroy the coating on the other side. You want to use a fork to turn them over. There's a little bit you can see underneath here, a little bit stuck to the pan. That's okay. That's still unstuck to the pork chops. That's the important part. So now we'll give them the rest of the time on this side. On this side, we can use a spatula because there's no coating on the bottom there. So now we have the first stage that goes under the broiler.
Because of the poor color resolution of the video camera, I've switched here to a still photo to show you what it should look like when it comes out of the broiler.
And it goes back in the broiler again. 2.5 minutes under the broiler, but your time will vary. Now I'm going to put on that Louisiana crumble. And we'll return it to the broiler for the last stage here.
The second volume of my cookbook is now available through Amazon and other booksellers. It covers the YouTube recipes from the last 8 months with more in-depth information. I received requests for the procedures on all recipes, and I've listened to you. Every recipe has step-by-step directions, and of course there are recipes that aren't on YouTube. But this is not just a recipe book. Far from it, as you can see from some of the topics scrolling by here. I'm certain that anyone who watches my channel and any serious cook will find this book a treasury of useful and new information you won't find anywhere else. If you want to know more about my adventures as a chef around the world and have some great laughs along the way, be sure to check out the video tour of my book, 40 Years in One Night. It's up on YouTube right now. Click the link. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.